Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Today, I'm very excited. If you've been following along the channel, you know that I've been doing a build series on a short, suppressed 300 Blackout build. This is how far we've gotten so far. But today, I've got a very exciting new part, and that is the optic. And this optic is awesome. This is the Holosun HS512C, and this thing is sweet. So we're gonna do some unboxing, first impressions, mount it up, and we've got a lot of new parts on the way. Before we get started, just wanna thank all the subscribers. You guys are awesome. So here we go. Build series. We'll do a little bit of a recap. Episode 1, we got the Aero Precision M4E1 stripped lower receiver, and this is the Join or Die Special Edition Franklin Snake lower. Episode 2, we got the upper receiver, and we installed the lower parts kit, I believe. Episode 3, we got the Radiant Raptor charging handle, and I just recently got some Magpul 300 Blackout specific magazines. These do have a little bit different follower geometry than the 5.56 mags, and although 5.56 magazines will work for 300 Blackout because the case is the same general size, figured if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it right and get 300 Blackout specific magazines. And last week in episode 4, we got the Geisley Super 42 buffer system, the braided buffer spring, and there are tons of benefits to this, which unfortunately I didn't get into so much last week. I learned more about it after I installed it and after I did the video, but there's a lot of benefits to the Geisley buffer system. Has to do with harmonics, how long the spring lasts, higher spring pressure, so it's more reliable at stripping rounds from your magazine. It's just an awesome buffer system. So today is episode 5, and we got the optic. Now, I had been trying to decide which optic to use for this build for a while. In the past, I've run some SIG Romeo 5 red dots, and they are perfectly usable and serviceable and very affordable. But because I'm using higher end parts on this build, and I want this to be more of a mid-tier build, I wanted more of a mid-tier optic. And so I went with something quite a bit more expensive, about 3 times the cost of a Romeo 5, but I believe that I've gotten more than 3 times the value out of this. This thing is sweet. So we're going to go over it here in a second. But first, let me tell you some of the features. So it is a fully enclosed red dot design. There is no open emitter like the 510C, which is one of the other ones I was looking at. The main thing that I was looking at was the Eotech EXPS2 or EXPS 3.0. They actually even make one specifically for 300 Blackout that has the bullet drop compensator built into it for that specific round. Eotech style optic is what I wanted for this. Eotechs are pretty dang expensive though, and so I was going to be saving for a long time. And in my research, I discovered this optic, which is actually a very similar design, has the same kind of reticle, and it's about $100 cheaper. And I was able to get it sooner, and I think I'm going to be very happy with this optic. But again, like I said, enclosed design, 50,000 hours of battery life if you have it on just the dot setting, but it also has a circle dot setting, which is what I will be using. With that, you get 20,000 hours of battery life. It's a 2 MOA dot with a 65 MOA circle, and I will be showing you that reticle in a moment. Solar failsafe and shake awake technology. Shake awake was the main reason that I decided to go for this rather than the Eotech, besides obviously price, of course. But I really have grown accustomed to the Shake Awake. I've got it on my Holosun pistol red dot and on these Romeo 5s. And it's nice to not have to worry about turning your optic on, especially if the firearm that it's on is something that could be used in a self-defense type of situation. You want an optic that is going to be on when you want it on. And the Shake Awake does that. It turns off after a little period of time, but the moment you touch it, move it, pick it up, that optic is on and ready for action, which is very nice. It also has a memory function for the brightness settings, so you can set it at a specific brightness and it'll turn back on to that brightness after it goes to sleep and then shakes back awake. But it also has an auto brightness feature through the solar panels where it detects the amount of ambient light and knows how bright your reticle should be. And the system works very well. It's got 10 daylight and 2 night vision settings, so this can be used with nods. Unfortunately, I don't have night vision, but if I did, it would work. And it's got a 1.41 inch center dot height, which is absolute co-witness for AR-15 style iron sights, which of course I will be running backup iron sights on this. It's got a quick release battery tray. It is IP67. That has to do with the waterproof rating, and it is parallax free. Now let's go up close. We're gonna unbox this optic, take a look at all the features, mount it up on the pit on the AR, and yeah, let's check it out. So here we go. This is the packaging that it comes in. Holosun red dot sight. Pull that off. Open it up. Looks just like every other Holosun box that I have gotten. Foam on top. You get some information. You get, this is to activate your warranty. Of course, your user's manual here. Lens cloth. You get your Holosun tool. This will be used for mounting it, but also for adjusting your windage and elevation. And here is the optic. And this thing it's fairly big. As you can see in my hands, not a small optic, but that's kind of the point. Look at this viewing window. It is huge. And did you see there? So my hand was just covering the solar panels on top, and you saw how it adjusted that reticle brightness. Now you can override that and adjust it manually. Let's see if we can get a clear picture of that reticle, because I love that circle dot reticle. It is perfect for fast target acquisition, which is what this build is going to be for. 300 blackout, short, suppress is going to be what I'm calling the ultimate home defense build. And this is a perfect optic for that. It's basically the same kind of reticle that you get with an Eotech, which is, that was the motivation for getting this optic, is you basically get, you know, the same kind of optic as an Eotech. Now, this one is an actual red dot, not a holographic like an Eotech. But because of that, you get a much longer battery life, and you get that shake awake feature that I really like. But you get the same kind of huge clear window, which gives you a great field of view, and the same kind of circle dot reticle. There's a 65 MOA outer ring with a 2 MOA dot. See how clear? It's hard to get it really clear with the camera, unfortunately, but it does look extremely crisp when you are looking through the optic. It is not QD, like quick detach, but that doesn't really bother me. I don't really see myself taking it off of this gun once it's mounted, so not really much of an issue to me. Absolute co-witness height. You've got your up and down for your brightness settings there. And on this side is your battery tray. I did install the battery already, but basically this thing comes out, turns, you pull the battery tray out, load it in, do the opposite to put it back. Right here you have your windage and your elevation settings and your solar panels. And this is 7075T6 aluminum. It is very, very solid and rugged, which is important to me. And it just looks damn good. So let's mount this thing up to this firearm here. So we are going to mount it pretty dang far forward because that is where I like my red dot placement. Loosen this up a little bit. Doing this kind of stuff on camera is not as easy as it is to do it not on camera, but we're gonna do it. So there we go. We got it where we want it. Tighten this screw down with the included tool. Make sure we get it nice and tight. There we go. And there is our optic, and it looks sweet. I am extremely excited about this. There you see that reticle pretty nice and clearly. Unfortunately, I don't have a barrel yet, so can't zero it today. Once I have this build completed and we've taken it to the range and we know that everything is running correctly, I will do a full review of this optic once I have just more experience with it and have put a bunch of rounds through it. Let's take a look back up top and finish out the video. She is coming along nicely. I've only got a few things left I need to do. I have a Geisley trigger that is supposed to be showing up tomorrow. I've also ordered a nickel boron bolt carrier group from Aero Precision and the Atlas R1 rail handguard, 7.3 inch and flat dark earth. All three of those items are on the way and should be showing up next week. After that, I just need to get a brace. I think I'm going to do the SBA 3, which I have on two of my other builds, and I like a lot. I'm going to do that in black, you know, so it's kind of, I like the flat dark earth and black look. And there's an 8-inch 300 Blackout barrel, gas block, gas tube. And then as far as a muzzle device goes, I think I'm just going to get like a cheap birdcage flash hider for now until my suppressor is approved, because it is a direct thread suppressor, and so no need for like a muzzle brake QD system. It's going to be a suppressor that just lives on this gun, so it's going to direct thread and be on there for good. Dedicated 300 Blackout. So yeah, and then if you know, of course, backup iron sights, sling, all the regular stuff, light, foregrip. We're going to kit this thing out and make it sweet. But it is getting closer and closer to being a full running firearm. And I'm very excited to have the optic on it. And at least without the barrel, I don't have to worry about pointing it at myself. You guys can see that reticle through there. See if it looks better over there. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this build series so far. I am really enjoying building it and making these videos so you guys can follow along. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so that you can see the previous episodes of the build series, but also so that you don't miss the future episodes, because I always say that I'm going to take these builds slow, and then I'm an impatient person and I just can't help myself from buying the next part and the next part and the next part until the build is completed, just like I did with this EPC 9, and this build is coming along faster than I had planned it to as well, which is a good thing for you, but also for me, because I'll have my Ultimate Home Defense 300 Blackout done before we know it, and then it'll just be a matter of waiting on the suppressor. So, if you enjoyed this, please drop me a like. Please comment on your optic selection for a 300 Blackout. Tell me if you have run this Holosun HS512C, or if you run an Eotech, or a 510C or what you like to use for 300 Blackout short boys. I would love to know. I'm going to drop a link down below. I do have an Amazon affiliate account. I haven't been mentioning it in videos lately because I realized that YouTube doesn't recommend my videos as much if I have links to go off of YouTube. But I did get this optic from Amazon. They have a great deal on it. And if you're interested in getting the same optic or any other Holosun optics, Amazon actually carries all of them, and you can get a pretty decent price on it. So I will drop that link down below. I do have a Patreon as well. It is Sawtooth Tactical. I'm going to try to take it easy on the links for a while because I seem to get more views and subscribers when I don't use them. So honestly, building the channel is more of a priority right now. And eventually, we'll try to do all that other stuff once the channel is big enough to not be affected by it so much. So please subscribe, please follow along. I love you guys. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.